In this video lesson, we are going to be finding roots of polynomial functions. So you can use synthetic division to evaluate polynomials. This process is called synthetic substitution. The process of synthetic substitution is exactly the same as the process of synthetic division, but the final answer is interpreted differently, as described by the remainder theorem. So we can use synthetic substitution to evaluate the polynomial for the given value. So if we were to plug 2 in for the function, the remainder, when we use synthetic substitution, is our answer, as if we were to plug in a 2 in for every single x and simplify like we have done in the past. So I'm going to put 2 up in my box. I'm going to put my coefficients, making sure it's in order and I'm not missing any coefficients. And then I'm going to do synthetic division, where I bring down the first term, I multiply, and then I put it up here, and then I add anything above. 9 times 2 is 18. 18 minus 1 is 17. 17 times 2 is 34. And 34 plus 7 is 41. This is the remainder. And so f of 2 is 41. Go ahead and try this one with -4. Pause, and then check when you're ready. Don't forget to put a 0 in for your x squared spot, your coefficient there. So try it, and then find your remainder, which will be your answer. Check your answer. Did you get 3,153? If not, look to see where you made your mistake. We can use synthetic division to show that the given expression is a factor of the polynomial. Then, using the results of that factor, we can factor it completely and find all of the zeros of the polynomial. And we are going to write that as a product of linear factors. So let's go ahead and start with our factor here, which we're going to set equal to 0, and we're going to solve. And so we're going to use 1, and we're going to write out our coefficients 2, 10, 4, and -16. And we're going to use synthetic division, bringing down our first term, and then multiplying and adding, multiplying and adding, and multiplying. This should always be 0. The remainder will always be 0 because it is a factor. So then we're going to write out what's left, which is a 2x squared plus 12x plus 16, and we are going to factor. So I can take a 2 out, as it has a GCF of 2, and divide every single term by 2. And now I'm going to come up with the factors of 8 that add to get 6. Since this is an x squared, I know it's going to be an x and an x, and the factors of 8 that add to get 6 are 2 and 4. And then I'm going to set each of those factors equal to 0, x plus 2 equal to 0, and x plus 4 equal to 0. So I know that x is equal to -2, x is equal to -4. So these are my zeros, -2, -4, and then don't forget the one up here that we started with, 1. And when those are written as factors, they're just in their parentheses before we solved. The one up here, x minus 1, and then right here, x plus 2, and x plus 4. And again, we don't set our GCF. When we set that equal to 0, it doesn't give you anything, so that's what happened with that GCF. All right, so let's try another one together, and then we'll have you try this last one. Actually, we'll have you try number 4 on your own. We'll do the next 2 together. But if you would like to try this one on your own, you feel like you're ready, go for it. Push pause, try it, and then check when you're ready. So setting this equal, we're going to have x equals 7. So 1, -9, 15, and -7. Bringing down my first term, multiplying, adding, multiplying, and adding, and multiplying. Again, that should always be 0. And then we have our x squared minus 2x plus 1. You can go ahead and already write your 7 and your x minus 7 on the line. And now we're going to factor. So factors of 1 that add to get -2 are -1 and -1. And so it's x minus 1 equals 0 and x minus 1 equals 0. So x equals 1 when we add 1 to both sides. And so we have 2 1s. You do not need to write the 0 twice, but you do need to write the factor. Don't need to write the 0 twice. All right, so for number 3, we have a coefficient here. So -2, and then we're going to divide that by 3. So we're going to have -2/3 up in our box here, and we're just going to take and do exactly what we've done before, coefficients, and we are going to multiply. So when we multiply, we're going to take 6 times the numerator and divide it by 3. So 6 times -2 is -12, divided by 3 is -4. And we're going to add, and we'll take 18 times -2 and divide it by 3 to get -12. -12 and -48 is -60. -60 times -2 is 120, divided by 3 is 40, and there's our 0. So we're going to take and 6x squared plus 18x minus 60, we're going to factor. And so I'm going to divide out a 6 because it has a GCF of 6. And now I'm going to go ahead and factor. Factors of 10 that add to get 3 are going to be 5 and 2, with the 5 being positive and the 2 being negative because it's a positive 3. And then again, the 6 equaling 0 isn't going to get me anything, but the 5 plus x and the x minus 2 equaling 0 will. So x equals 2 and x equals -5. So -5, 2, and our -2/3, our factor that we started with, and then our 0, and then our factor that we started with, 3x plus 2, and our x plus 5, and our x minus 2. So go ahead and try that last one on your own. Push pause, and then push play to check when you're ready. All right, check your answer. Make sure that you got 13 and 1 for the zeros. You got x minus 1, and x minus 13 for your factors.